Welcome back to episode 5 of Broken Spoken. I'm Alexander, and I'm here with
Meriel.
And we are going to talk about some bullshit here in Soho Innovative Studios off Wooster Street. I mean, it's a little bit different today, isn't it?
Yeah, you knocked the back wall down.
I did, and now we have like 20 more feet.
It's nice. It feels kind of lofty.
It feels very lofty.
It feels lofty.
Lofty ideals.
I'm so tired today.
You know, everyone in the studio today has had awful sleep, so we're
Yeah.
going to see like what this episode's going to be like.
I had about 2 hours and no good reason either. I had to get up early this morning and for some reason I didn't get myself to bed.
Wait, why 2 hours though?
Because I didn't get myself to bed for a long time and then I did get to bed and then I was scrolling on my phone and then when I put my phone down I couldn't sleep, so I fell asleep at like 5 a.m. and I was up at 7.
Were you partying?
No.
Really?
I literally sat in my pajamas from 9 o'clock onwards. There was no party involved.
Oh, what do you have on your mind? Because
Everything.
yeah, me too. I don't know. Maybe it was just something in the energy of the universe last night. Because
Was it a full moon last night?
was it?
Because sometimes that can make people sleep funny.
Maybe. And Marvin, our podcast director, is going to look up the moon cycles.
On
On
CoStar.
CoStar. Here we go. Back. They better sponsor us at this point. CoStar.
CoStar.
You're right.
So funny. Should we talk about things in the news at the moment?
Sure. Like, what's going on?
All right. So first thing, I wrote a nice little list just for you.
Oh, nice. Thanks.
Britney's free.
Officially.
Yeah.
So
Her conservatorship ended. Britney is now free.
Wow. Was there a cost?
Very exciting. I actually don't know. I don't think so. Well, she had to win a court case, but she got her conservatorship dropped and she is now completely free, which is wonderful.
Yeah, you know, but I wonder if it's like at a loss of some kind, you know? Did she lose an equity percentage of the TM?
I hope not. I hope they didn't take anything from her to gain her freedom.
Yeah, did she lose any intellectual property?
Right.
You know, like I'm
her
curious
rights
about
or anything to her music.
Because when you take things to court like that, right, it's not ever a clean cut.
All right, it's a negotiation.
It's a negotiation and things are kind of shifted. Have you ever played the game Mancala?
Yes.
It's like
Wait,
that.
is that the one where you drop the little
Yeah. It's like you're moving things around into
the
different
little
pots.
crystals,
Yeah.
the little rocks into yeah.
That's what I feel like the court system's like. It's like, you know, moving into different piles and some piles are disproportionate to the other and, you know.
Yeah.
But then again, at the end of the game, you kind of win everything. So it's an awful example.
I don't know. I just got called up for jury duty recently. I did jury duty
Yes, that's right.
a week and a half ago. And it was so weird. They called us in. We just sat in a room from 9 o'clock till 5 o'clock. Nothing happened. Like they didn't call anyone in. They didn't question anyone. The only thing we did was watch this video that was clearly filmed in the 90s about how wonderful it was to be doing jury duty and how it's a privilege and it's, you know, how it's like it's an honor because you're contributing to a fair society. And then at the end of the day, they told us we all had to come back. And then the day before we were supposed to go back, they phoned me and said, you don't have to come in.
Wow.
So-
Why?
They didn't say. They just said, your jury duty has been completed. You don't have to come in tomorrow.
You know why, right?
And I didn't ask them any questions. I said, thank you very much.
Did they ask you any questions?
No, they never even got to that point. They're supposed to call you in and ask you questions.
Right.
Like, you know, are you a Nazi? Like, do you like children?
Right.
All this stuff. And
So yes.
right. And
To both.
to both. And they didn't ask me a single question the entire time.
You think they just looked at you and was like, she's way too low?
They didn't ask anyone a question. I think they didn't even get round to it.
Were you on camera? Did they look at you? Did they like
Nothing.
take
We
notes?
sat in a big room and I just played on my phone for about 7 hours.
What's up with that? That's so curious.
You go in and you wait for a case to appear and then they'll call you in and question you and decide if you're going to be on the jury. But if a case doesn't come in time or they're running behind, you just sit there and wait.
You know, I've never been called into jury duty.
How?
I don't know.
Actually, to be fair, this is my first time. I didn't think they knew where I lived. This is my first time ever getting called up.
Sometimes I worry about that, right? Like,
That one of your old addresses just has like a stack of notices from the court
yeah,
system.
like a federal marshal's there and he's like
You can get-
chewing tobacco and he's just like, what the hell is this guy? We went down to look for his place.
You can get fined if you don't go.
Great.
They'll come after you. The sheriff.
The sheriff will come after me.
Wait, do New York's have sheriffs?
They'd have to, right?
Everyone
has a sheriff.
We don't have sheriffs in the UK, I don't think.
Can you imagine being the sheriff of New York? Everybody's such an ass.
It does, doesn't it?
It's
Like a sheriff.
yeah,
just
people are
sounds-
like, yeah, guy, all right, get the fuck out of my place. You're the sheriff of New York. Okay,
Yeah.
how you doing?
That's like being a mayor. Just sounds so cartoony to me. If someone's like, I'm a mayor, I just immediately think of like the mayor and Powerpuff Girls. Who has like a top hat and like a monocle.
Yes, the Monopoly
Yeah.
man.
He's always tiny for some
Yeah,
reason in
he's-
cartoons.
Yeah, because don't you?
Being
listen,
a mayor is just super cartoonish.
could you ever be a politician? Like really?
Oh, I'd be terrible at it. I'm not good at manipulation. I'm not good at like weaseling my way into things. I'd be an awful politician.
Do you think there's such thing as like reasonable and, like normal and kind-hearted politicians?
I hope so.
Yeah, but do you believe it? Like, do you believe right now that there's a politician who really genuinely has the best interest of everyone in mind?
I think so. I think this is the difference, okay? I think a lot of politicians really think that they are the moral good.
100%.
So they are genuinely trying from their heart because they really believe they are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they are doing the right thing, but
Totally.
they fully believe they are. And that's the difference.
That's kind of how evil starts, right? Like you feel like you're supposed to do it, like you're
like
called upon this
every
change.
baddie has a cause, like an origin story.
If you could wave your hand right now and just solve one major issue, right? If you could just like fairy godmother one issue.
Just one?
Only one, nothing else gets touched. For a 4-year period, this one issue is forever changed. Just one thing. What would you do, Marvin?
Climate change.
Oh, Marvin said
Mine
climate
would be
change.
Cliven change too.
Cliven change?
Cliven?
Did you just say Cliven?
Yeah, Clive Owen.
Clive Owen
He needs to change his career.
I was gonna say like human trafficking or child trafficking.
No, Clive Owen.
But Clive Owen.
Priorities, Meriel.
I'm gonna pick Clive Owen. If I have to do one thing for a year, Clive Owen.
Clive Owen. Yeah, no, man, that's
like human trafficking or
dark
like child
one.
trafficking. Yeah.
That actually might take precedence over climate change.
I don't know though, because climate change, like the whole world ends.
Yeah, but don't we have, I mean, it definitely the whole world is ending in that way.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't believe in it, which I think is really silly, personally.
Wild to me.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever like looked into their argument as to why? It's actually interesting.
What actually, this is a good point. Why do they think climate change? I know they say that like seasons and weathers do ebb with the decades, and that's true. Like centuries, weather patterns change.
Yes.
But there is also undeniable science proving that the weather changes we are experiencing now are from climate change. So how do they discredit that science?
They put it into an earth science frame as opposed to like what humanity needs. This is my limited understanding of, they make it sound like this is totally normal pattern behavior for planet Earth that goes through cycles.
Which
and
it
their
does.
assumption is that we'll be completely fine.
Nope.
However, what they're forgetting to realize is that we're in such a perfect climate zone where, we've emerged from the multiple ice ages we've had. Yes, we've had multiple ice ages, and this is all verifiable by science, into this like perfect zone, right? Where we can grow and, plant life is expanding and the oceans are at a certain, level and everything seems balanced. So I feel like they point to the changes and you say, well, you're grossly overreacting because look at the bird's eye view of it, right? But we're not. We're a speck of time on the bird's eye view. And like, that's all that matters. Like, where's our framework of where we can survive? And climate change scares me. Like,
I mean, all that shit aside, I really hate winter, so I don't want to live through an ice age. It would fucking suck.
well, humanity has lived through multiple ice ages. Actually, there's a weird comparison to the Grail mythology to ice ages.
What, the Holy Grail?
The Holy Grail. Yeah, and King Arthur.
All right, hit me.
Truly. Like there was a few mini ice ages, right? There was like dips and the average temperatures of planet Earth.
England used to be a lot colder than it is now.
Right. And one of the comparisons is directly related to the Dark Ages. It's like lined up perfectly by time to where the environment allegedly, according to this, it's not really anecdotal, probably, right? It's like kind of pointing into the psychology of how climate can affect the psychology of humanity. So I don't know like how provable it is, but there are papers out there saying that basically the Dark Ages coincided with a steep decrease in temperatures into a mini ice age. And as we emerged out of it, the Grail myth was actually, like symbolic of humanity coming out into like an eternal spring of temperature change.
Makes sense.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
My dad's obsessed with the Grail myth.
Really?
He's such a King Arthur guy.
Did he read all the like Dan Brown, right? The Dan Brown books?
He has all of Dan Brown's books, yes. But also almost every known version of the Arthurian legend.
Really?
Every single one.
That makes sense because I feel like you're into that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, that's what I grew up with,
Right.
He used to read The Hobbit to us to go to sleep.
Aww.
So, we would have this amazing picture book of The Hobbit, right, of each chapter, and had these beautiful illustrations. And it was just such a pleasure to listen to that going to sleep. You know, it was Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It was The Hobbit. You know, it was all these different like mystery and like, you know, deep, rich stories. But fantasy was number one.
See, I grew up on Harry Potter, so that's probably why I'm completely Harry Potter obsessed.
You're such a Harry Potter fanatic.
Such a Harry Potter fanatic.
Yeah.
It's because that's what I grew up listening to. Before I could even read well, I was having the Harry Potter audiobooks.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
you did audiobooks before reading the card copy.
I did audiobooks. The first one I actually read was the third one. Before 1 and 2.
That's the Prisoner of... No,
Azkaban. Yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban.
Because what is it? Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets?
Philosopher's Stone if you're in the UK. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Chamber of Secrets.
Wait, they changed the name?
It was Philosopher's Stone, and they decided in America that American kids wouldn't get it, so they changed it to Sorcerer's Stone.
You know that's a real thing, right?
What?
The Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, that's why she did it.
Yeah.
She's not an idiot.
Right.
Yeah. She may have political. She may have political beliefs I don't agree with, but she's not an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Why did they change it?
Because they changed a lot of stuff. Actually, if you look at the first 3 or 4 editions of Harry Potter, they changed a couple words in it too, like English phrases they didn't think American kids would understand. And by the time they got to the 5th book, I believe, the books were so well known that they figured they can leave in the English language, like slangs and phrase words for things because people would understand it's a British book. But they changed they changed jumpers to sweaters because we call this a jumper in the UK.
Right.
So they changed that. They had a couple other words they changed.
What?
Yeah, and then because she didn't have much sway at that point, she was an unknown writer trying to get her books out. She just agreed to change it to sorcerers.
See, how does that happen? And then you have books like Lord of the Rings that literally has different languages.
Because she wasn't a well-known writer at this point. And
that's true. What about Twilight? Because they needed an editor. I heard Twilight is like the most grammatically incorrect novel of all time.
Yeah.
Like you read it and it's just basically like imagine a baby seal getting hit with a club writing a book.
I wouldn't say it's that
basically
bad. Have
Twilight.
you read them?
No.
Okay, I read the first one and part of the second one.
To be honest, how was it?
Yeah. It's not my style
She's
of
grimacing.
book. It's not my style of book.
Yeah.
But
it's like softcore porn, right? Like the book itself is like kind of...
Not at all.
It's like romance. No?
Oh my God, Alexander, it was written by a Mormon. There's like nothing risque in those books.
Listen, Mormons have multiple wives, so I'm not seeing your point here.
That is very, very PG.
Really?
But, huh? Yes, for kids.
It's a kid's book?
Yeah.
Well, the movies weren't for kids.
Yes, they were.
No, they weren't.
Twilight?
Twilight was so sexual.
Are you thinking of 50 Shades of Grey right now?
No.
Are you sure?
50 Shades is a dark novel, though. That is definitely not a children's. No, Twilight, the
50
vampire.
Shades is dark? It's not dark. It's like a sexy novel, 50 Shades of Grey.
It's kind of dark, isn't it?
No, it's about a girl who falls in love with her boss and he's like into BDSM and...
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was dark. It was kind of cheesy, but...
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
Twilight was written for teens, for 11-year-old, 12-year-olds up to 18-ish. And it's about this girl who is in high school and falls in love with this vampire. And
just like that.
Just like that. And she's all broody and misunderstood. And he's all broody and misunderstood. And they fall in love. And they were fun. They were cute books. I read the first one. I read half of the second one. And then the characters annoyed me, so I stopped.
Yeah, okay.
But they must have something because people like them. There must be some appeal.
There was a magic to it, obviously.
Yeah.
So here's my question for you. So you've read both books.
Harry Potter and Twilight?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so we're not going to compare the books.
Don't ask me which one's better, because that's just a stupid question.
We obviously know the question. Yeah. Even though I've read Harry Potter too. I loved Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But here's my question. In terms of power levels, in terms of who's more powerful, right, as a character, like if characters got into fights.
Well, like Edward Cullen or Harry Potter?
Yeah. Who would win that fight? Who would win?
Are we talking about Harry Potter at what age, though?
Okay, we'll split the difference, right? We'll do Harry Potter in the same age as Cullen was, whenever that was. So it's like high school.
He's like 17 or 18. So
yeah, okay, so 17.
Harry Potter then.
Harry Potter, do you think would take Edward Cullen?
Yeah. Well, Edward Cullen, his thing is he's really fast.
Yeah, he runs really fast, right?
Yeah. And he can lift up.
He's also a vampire.
He's a vampire. But Harry could...
And he has diamond skin, doesn't he? So he's armored.
Yeah, he's diamond skin. You
looking pretty good for Cullen.
A lot for someone who hasn't read
I've
Twilight.
seen the movies. I've seen the movies.
Secretly, you love them.
No.
The movies I actually really enjoyed. I thought they were fun, the movies. But let me think. Harry Potter could just do stuff from a distance, though, couldn't he? He could Expelliarmus the shit out of him from far away.
Could he though? I kind of think Harry Potter's a pussy.
No.
Yeah, I kind of think he's like a little bit of like...
His greatest strength is the fact that he can love.
Point for Alexander.
All right.
Point for Alexander.
All right.
Because that gets you far in the real world in a magical fight with a snake-faced villain.
You know what?
Please stop Voldemort. I love people.
No, it saved him. It did. It saved him.
Did it?
The fact that he could love is what saved him.
No, the fact his parents loved him and put a spell around him is what saved him.
And then
Am I wrong?
No. And then he sacrificed himself in the end.
You're getting heated. What? You're like you.
The spell,
Wait, when did he sacrifice
the spell
himself?
that his parents put around him
Yeah, the protection
got
spell.
broken when Voldemort took in some of Harry's blood. That protection got lost.
Wait, when did Voldemort take his blood?
In the 4th book, when Voldemort comes back to life.
The Half-Blood Prince?
No.
The Prisoner of Azkaban?
No.
Shit.
The Goblet of Fire.
The Goblet of Fire. Okay. Oh, yeah. He did take his blood.
And so then the reason Harry Potter lived is because he sacrificed himself to save the people in Hogwarts.
In
and
that book?
that sacrifice is what caused him to live. In the last one.
Oh, in the last one. So, right. And then he comes back alive, though.
Yes, because Voldemort killed the Horcrux inside him rather than Harry himself. Spoilers.
Right. So basically, Harry failed and then Voldemort made a bad decision, is what you're telling me.
Harry failed?
He failed.
Failed at what?
Well,
Dying?
if Voldemort didn't destroy the last Horcrux.
No, Harry went in fully prepared to die.
Right. That's great.
Right?
Honorable.
And because he did that, because he went in fully prepared to die with no intention of living, when Voldemort killed him, it killed the Horcrux inside of
also,
Harry.
at the same time. Gotcha. Okay. So because he was so sacrificial, magic came from that to where it brought him back to life?
He didn't bring him back to life. He didn't die. The Horcrux inside him died.
Okay, right. But it brought Harry back to life.
He didn't come back to life, though. He never actually died. The Horcrux inside him died.
Oh, so he never actually died.
No, he was like in limbo for a moment, but he never actually died.
Right, because he was in that white room,
Yes,
right?
well,
Where he saw Dumbledore, and Dumbledore's like trying to take his hand and like move it down to...
What?
Wait. Sorry, wrong dream.
You made me drop my phone. I was so into that for a second.
What would happen if Harry Potter went into that, that memory bank thing, and he just pulls out Dumbledore's like disgusting like
His
old man
pensive.
thoughts?
Oh no, Dumbledore didn't
Come
have
on.
gross thoughts.
Okay, yeah, because he's perfect.
Do you remember changing the subject? Do you remember sour Altoids?
What?
I was
No.
thinking this the other day. Do you remember Marvin's dying right now? Sour Altoids.
Wait, there's sour Altoids?
Do you remember this, Marvin?
No, that sounds heinous.
This sounds disgusting.
No, they're not minty. They weren't minty.
Well, yeah, they're soury.
They were.
I'd be worried if they're both.
Tangerine, and they sold them, and they were so good, but they were so sour. They were burning holes in people's tongues. So they pulled them from the market and they don't make them anymore. But I want some. And I was thinking about them the other day. And
They were recalled?
They were not recalled, but the company just stopped making them.
People died?
No. But
People lost
got
their speech?
Irritated tongues.
Oh man, that's the worst. Have you
Yeah.
ever had an irritated tongue?
Yeah, I eat Captain Crunch and that bothers my tongue
The best
sometimes
kind of
'cause
irritation.
It's kind of rough.
Oh, it's the
you
best
know?
when it cuts up your mouth and all
Yeah.
that sugar gets in your bloodstream and you strangle your little brother because he
peanut-
says something.
This sounds like you're speaking from
This is a
experience.
personal memory.
When I was a kid, we were only allowed sweet breakfasts on weekends. So I could only have a Pop-Tart on the weekends.
Oh, you really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I wasn't allowed to watch TV unless it was a weekend either.
Yeah, we had rules like that.
Yeah.
There was what was like the sin show that you could watch?
Like the naughty show?
Yeah, the show that like there was like you can't watch that, but then you find a way to see it. No, ours was South Park and Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, maybe South Park. Oh, actually Simpsons. But you know what's funny? My parents are always kind of like against The Simpsons. And then about 10 years ago, my dad watched an episode of The Simpsons and died laughing. And now he's the biggest Simpsons fan. He always just thought it was trash. And then he actually went back and watched the old original episodes and he loves The Simpsons.
What is that? I had family members like that with Harry Potter.
So funny. The Simpsons are great. Well, they were against Harry Potter.
They were like, this is witchcraft.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's,
They're like, well, I mean, technically it was a book about witchcraft.
That's prejudgment though. My dad just judged, he just made an assumption about The Simpsons and then he actually watched it and he loves The Simpsons.
I think that's why they got rid of the Philosopher's Stone.
And changed it to sorcery?
Yeah, because they were worried about like Christian Americans.
But why would sorcery be better than philosophy?
Because the Philosopher's Stone is actually a thing rooted in witchcraft and Hermetic science.
No, I think their explanation was they didn't think kids would understand what a philosopher's stone is. What's the sorcerer's stone?
Great. So they're like, Yes, of course. Yes, we're bringing it over into
Those
America
American
now.
kids, they don't understand a thing, so we'll just change the words and
Yes, of course.
the simple minds will get it.
Yes, well, during the Great War, we could have regular conversations, but the United States has gotten significantly dumber.
That's actually a very good British accent.
Thank you. That's my Churchill.
That wasn't bad at all.
That's my World War One. Getting into World War II British guy.
We'll fight them on the beaches.
We'll fight them on the beaches.
Can you do a good Churchill?
What do you say? He goes, we'll
Fight
fight
them in the air.
We'll fight them in the air.
We'll fight them in the...
We'll fight them on the beaches.
You got to kind of put it forward. We had a student here the other day, and we were just walking through different accents. Do you have like favorites?
I love doing
Like a Valley Girl.
Ooh, yeah, of
Like
course.
that's kind of fun. Like
Yeah.
Paris Hilton and doing that kind of accent.
You're really good at that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So I love doing that.
this is really good.
What else
This
is a
is
good
a
one? There's
really
some other
good
fun ones.
accent. You honestly did not sound like anyone I've met.
Thank you.
What? What? That is blowing my mind. You need to make that into like your reel.
My real?
You need to put that on.
I
your
used to
audio.
do this character where it was the girl who's just never impressed by anything.
Oh,
Like
yeah?
everything's an effort.
All right, let's role play it
So-
out. Let's role play it out.
No, if like,
Is this like fat free?
Oh yeah, that is fat free. We're the only place in LA that does
It
that.
is?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
like everything's an effort. Even they're saying thank you, they're just exhausted. Like
Can I get some more ice? Thank you.
everything ends in a.
That is so good. That is a great
And
accent.
they say thank you a lot.
Do you know the hardest word to say in an American accent?
What's that?
Forward.
Really?
Yeah.
Forward.
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 Forward. And then you can cheat it by going forward.
Forward.
But that sounds like you're from the Midwest. We're going forward.
Forward.
But forward.
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 Can't do
Forward.
it. Forward. Forward.
Sometimes, that's better to say forward. Forward.
What's a good accent you like doing? You could do the Peaky Blinders one. You did that for a while.
Oh, yeah, I fucking love doing the Cockney accent. Yeah, I love Arthur Shelby.
That's not Cockney. That's Brummy.
Oh, it's Brummy.
Yeah.
Right.
Arthur Shelby.
And then, of course, then you do the Thomas Shelby.
Yeah, Thomas Shelby.
That's right. Grace.
Grace's secret.
Pass the whiskey, Grace.
Yeah, that's good. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, the soldier's minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? Oh, in the bleak midwinter.
In the bleak midwinter.
Yeah, there you
It's getting
go.
a little like it's getting
slightly Irishy.
it's getting slightly
In
the
the
Beatles.
bleak midwinter.
In the bleak midwinter.
In the bleak midwinter. What was that?
In the bleak midwinter.
I was trying to say in the bleak midwinter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love doing the Irish accent. It's
The
one of my
bleak
favorites.
midwinter. Ireland.
Yes. 1, 2, 3.
You can have Ireland or Ireland. There's like two.
Ireland.
Ireland.
Oi. I'm from Ireland.
I'm
Yeah,
from
I feel like
Ireland.
he
There's
fights
Ireland
better.
and there's Ireland.
There's Ireland.
Yeah, that's the
And then
one.
there's Ireland.
Yeah, you go. One's
Yeah.
like from Northern Ireland.
Yeah,
one's
once
from,
I think this one's from Dublin. It's a little
and
bit
they're
cleaner.
Belfast.
Yeah, it's a little bit cleaner of an accent. But it's been a while since I've actually done the phonetic.
And then Scottish.
Aye, Scotland.
Scotland.
What would you like to know?
Wee bit of bread in Scotland.
Oh, a little bit of
A
bread,
wee little
laddie.
bit in Scotland.
Hey, that's the absolute best. Whenever I have my shirt off and we're fighting, me and me brothers,
You
we
sound
always go
like
straight into
Gamekeeper
Scottish.
Willie from The Simpsons.
Hey, you're Gatekeeper Willie, laddie. Anytime I feel brawly, I want to get straight into a Scottish accent, laddie.
Have you ever worn a kilt?
Aye.
Did you wear pants under it?
No. Freeboard.
Freeballing.
Freezing.
Was it cold?
I don't
Your
understand.
bollocks must have been freezing.
My bullocks were freezing. They weren't even there. They became tonsils. It just went straight up. Straight up into my throat.
It's weird that can happen with bulls. All right, what else is happening in the news?
This is true.
Some scientists are believing COVID might end in 2022.
What?
Let's be
Hold
hopeful.
on.
Let's be
What is your
hopeful.
source? That is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard.
A scientist was saying,
A scientist.
I think it was on some news channel. I actually don't remember because I wrote it down and I lost the link. I'm not going to lie to you. But they were saying that they predict the pandemic may end in 2022. So we should stay hopeful.
I call complete bullshit on that. I call complete bullshit. First of all, how does that line up with anything that they've been saying? This is really starting to piss me off. Like, this is really starting to piss me off. The misinformation in this fucking pandemic is driving me crazy.
Yeah, I think honestly that's one of the reasons why there is so much kickback to this pandemic is because 1, misinformation, 2, gossip, and 3, the rules keep changing.
The rules keep. How can they predict that a virus is going to end?
Yeah.
You know how convenient that is? First of all, we currently have a president who has the lowest poll numbers ever. He has like a 70% disapproval rating, which is quite literally the lowest ever because the man is on his way out. You know, he's not coherently there.
I disagree with that.
Really?
I don't think he's incoherent.
Really? Have you seen him talk publicly?
I actually don't think he's incoherent. I think he
has dementia.
I think that's a thing that's been pushed around a lot in the media, but I'm not saying I agree with all his policies, but I don't think he's incoherent.
Oh, I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong, but the things that I've seen him say and talk is like, whoa, are you okay, dude? I actually worry about him as a human being, but that's okay. Let's say I'm wrong with that. Okay. Let's take that out of the picture. The disapproval ratings are true. That does exist. And now all of a sudden the COVID pandemic is going to magically disappear in 2022. How could they possibly?
Dude, don't yell at me. I didn't predict it. I'm just reading out what came.
How could you possibly? Yeah, not you. Of course not you. How could you possibly predict that a pandemic is going to end? By the way, a pandemic with multiple variations?
It's an endemic now. I think we're past a pandemic, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Another thing in the news to do with COVID, actually. Did you see about the anti-vaccine protesters in Kansas?
What about them?
They were wearing Stars of David with the argument that they were being treated like the Jews in Nazi Germany.
You can't really do that.
No, and I was thinking about this because obviously that is just horrific.
Far.
So if you're doing that, you're either 1, an idiot who's completely uneducated about the Holocaust, or 2, just plain evil. So pick your poison. What are you, stupid or mean? That's the choices.
I think it's stupidity, and really, I do think it's stupidity because I think that, all right, I understand the intellectual argument that a certain class of people were discriminated against, but you cannot compare at all to the Jews in the Holocaust. Are you nuts?
Can I read what the Auschwitz Memorial tweeted about it?
That's so messed up and also really shitty to Jewish people.
Horrific. It says, This is what Auschwitz Memorial said on Twitter.
Okay.
Instrumentalizing the fate of Jews who were persecuted by hateful anti-Semitic ideology and murdered in extermination camps like Auschwitz with poisonous gas in order to argue against vaccinations that save human lives is a system of intellectual and moral degeneration.
That's a great way of
and
putting
I think they nailed it.
But this is the thing about the Jewish history.
Idiots.
So many people use the Jewish plight in a way that's useful for them. And then when it comes down to helping Jews in plight, they don't do it.
They ignore it, of course.
They really are one of the most picked on people of all time.
Well, just to try and argue that, just to try and even compare and say that what people who aren't vaccinated go through is the same as what Jewish people had to go through during World War II is just not even close. And if you really think that your life is so hard by being unvaccinated that you stand alongside those who were murdered in concentration camps, I think you need to read a bit more about history and what actually happened to the people during the Holocaust, because it was horrific.
But there's a bigger problem here too.
What's that?
I'm not trying to subject change away from the fact that, the Jewish experience is basically being exploited, right? For political purposes. But there's such a strong foundation in outrage culture. And so people want to take the most outrageous possible scenario, right? And then bend it to their political agenda.
Right.
Right? Because at the very end of the extreme is the Jewish experience, right? Where you're literally being rounded up and gassed to death. Get out of here. That's crazy.
I just thought that was crazy. And there's pictures of it. I was reading all about it. One of the people who was doing that was actually a mayor candidate, a mayoral
candidate.
That's not a word, is it?
Mayoral
is a mayoral candidate. And
we both looked at each other like, that's it, right?
Yeah, that's English. That's the word, mayoral.
Avada Kedavra. Just kidding.
A mayoral. It sounds like I'm saying my own name.
Yeah, it does.
It's a mayoral candidate.
It's a mayoral.
So one of the people.
They're not qualified.
They're not qualified. One of the people is actually running for mayor. We'll say that.
Yeah.
And
nice.
Just disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Gross. All right. What else is in the news? Let me see.
That's really messed up.
This is totally out of left field, but it's important to me.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
Taylor Swift's new album.
What about it?
It came out 2 nights ago. It's huge.
Really?
It's a rewrite of her old album.
Oh,
It's amazing.
she's pulling a Hollywood.
No, she has to do that because the rights for her music were taken away.
She's fighting the same kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
With Britney a little bit, like kind of.
Well, the rights to her music got sold, and she has no access to it, so she's re-recording all her old albums, so she can have the rights back to her music.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, this is really important for us as artists, right? You have Dave Chappelle, who made a documentary, and no one is airing it. All of the, you heard about this, right?
They're all afraid to touch it after his last stand-up special, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no one is playing it. And so he's shifting towards like an independent
That's
market.
what Louis C.K. did with his special that came out. He released it on his website.
Louis C.K. Then you have Andrew Schultz.
Does a lot of
who's
his own stuff.
Started grassroots and
Yeah.
is now like he's the man, like it's all independent.
Yeah.
And now you have Taylor Swift, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the most marketable artists ever.
I mean, this
shifting towards independent.
album is like crazy how much people are freaking out about this album. It's huge.
Really?
Yeah, it's huge. Like she posted the song and I think in 3 minutes it gained 33,000 views in 3 minutes.
33,000 views in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
333.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's just wild. So that was really exciting. I've been listening to that a lot. I'm a big Swiftie.
You know what?
think it's
I don't
amazing.
hate her music.
I love her music.
I don't buy her music.
That's
but,
fair.
I
absolutely
definitely
love her
respect her
I'm a huge
drive.
fan.
And apparently she has like tens of millions of dollars in real estate.
Oh, I'm sure she has
Like-
multiple properties.
Yeah, I hear it's almost as successful as her artist career.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Like she takes all of her money and she invests it. So, I would love to meet her and just kind of have a conversation because I have a feeling she's so much deeper than what people realize.
Oh, I'm sure.
And smarter.
Apparently, she has her life planned out 2 years ahead of time. Like she knows every move she's making. She's smart.
2 years ahead. All right. If
She
that's
has-
the case, then maybe I won't get along with her.
Honestly, she has.
It seems like
Well,
a
no,
little
in
much.
the sense that she has like clues about future albums hidden in all her current albums. She has even stuff on what she posts online. There's like hidden clues.
Whoa.
Like if you look into the Swiftie, which is what they call the Taylor Swift fans, the Swiftie world, half of it is deciphering clues and hidden messages.
No way.
It's all about that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Like what? Can you give an
So
example?
for example, when her last album, not the last one of her albums was coming out,
Okay.
and she was leaving clues about her name of the album
Yeah.
in her post, but there was also things about the date was going to be released.
Right.
So she had a picture of her with like a lattice fence, and like the number of lattices corresponded to the date,
What?
and like stuff like that, and like things she would wear and her clothes would like
That's so Machiavellian.
hint. It's really cool. And then references to future songs that she's gonna be redoing are hidden in the current lyrics. Little things she doesn't like. Nothing is by accident. She's super smart that way. It's
wow.
really fun.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's really fun.
She's taken kind of like a mise en scène approach.
The
to
what,
her.
what?
It's French. I went to film school.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did.
It's French for everything in the right place.
Mise en what?
It is French for everything in the right
But what did you
place.
say it was?
Mise en scène.
Mise en scène?
Yeah, mise en scène.
Okay.
I'm probably
I was
pronouncing
going to say,
it
is
wrong.
that the right
Yeah, I'm gonna
pronunciation?
get literally torn to shreds in the comments. Probably.
yeah.
It's probably like it's actually not mise en
Probably
scène.
mise en scène. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Sorry. Semi-couplet. Mise en scène.
C'est me
Mise en scène.
C'est me couplet.
Semi-couplet. I feel like this chair's about to break. Does it look like it? Because it
No, but you
feels-
are just slowly like slinking
I'm
lower. Yeah, you're very horizontal.
You know what? I am like laying down tonight. I feel exhausted. I woke up today. I felt kind of felt down.
You did? You had a bit of
did.
the blues?
I did. Yeah, I woke up. I just feel like, this beautiful place, just putting so much work into it. It never feels like enough. Like it never
That's 'cause
feels
you're
like
a
I'm doing enough.
Sagittarius. We already talked about this. You're always going to be that
All
way.
right, fine. I'll shut up.
No, I'm just saying you're always going to be that way. You're never going to be satisfied. You'll never be satisfied. God, I hope you're satisfied.
Is that Taylor Swift?
No, that's Hamilton.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Marvin got it. He was laughing. Yeah, Marvin got it.
Hamilton's good.
He's giving you the side eye now.
Hamilton's good.
Hamilton is great. I love Hamilton. Great.
Speaking of sugary foods, Frosted Flakes.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
missed it.
okay.
Fine, whatever. Hamilton was pretty good. I'm not really a big Broadway guy.
Ugh, I am.
I'm not that guy.
I'm not that guy.
I'm not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
So tell me if this is weird or not.
Okay.
My good friend just had a birthday.
Really weird. You have friends?
Yeah, I know. So he's so proud of that one. So my good friend just had a birthday and I went to go buy her a bottle of champagne. So I go into the liquor store that we live above. She's also my next door neighbor,
Nice.
right?
Okay.
And we live above a wine store,
Okay.
which has liquor. And I went to buy a bottle of champagne and I was like, by the way, it's her name's birthday to the guy who works there because they all know her because we're in there a lot. So she goes down the next day to buy a bottle of wine or something. And the guy who works behind the counter goes, happy birthday, and gives her an opened bottle of vodka. He just pulls out from under the counter and just gives it to her. And she goes, thanks. And then she gets home and realizes it's like hot, like some of it's been drunk. Like it's just like a 3/4 full bottle of vodka.
Yeah, that is
He just
kind of
pulled
weird.
out from under the counter and was like, here you go.
I feel like his heart's in the right place. But
Of course.
It's kind of like one of those things where you don't know you're ratchet.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. She said she got it. She was like, that's so kind. Thank you so much.
Right.
Because she didn't realize it was open. And then she knocked on my door. She was coming up the stairs. She goes,
What do I do with
they
this?
just gave me an open bottle of vodka from the wine store.
So great, dump it out. Great.
And I was like, where was it? And she goes, he just pulled it out from under the counter and was like, happy birthday.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
And then my roommate was like, they've probably drugged it. I was like, why would they drug it? So
Yeah,
she
with
just,
you not in the room.
just so she falls asleep in like 2 weeks' time when she has a drink of vodka in her apartment.
Right. She happens to walk back into the liquor store and just immediately
Yeah.
falls to the roofies. And he's like, yes.
They just know when it's gonna hit, the
Right,
GHB
like-
is gonna hit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that was so funny that she goes to the wine store and they were like, here you go.
Yeah,
Don't say we never came. And he goes, from all of us here,
Oh,
like
no.
it was such a nice present.
Stop. From all of us here, a half drunk bottle of vodka. That is depressing. It's depressing.
Hey, you know what? I guess it's something.
I mean, you know,
The
thank
amount of
you.
money she spends there, though, they should have really given her like a proper bottle of something nice. But
Yeah,
it is what it
exactly.
is.
Exactly. You know, it's okay. But you know, it's the thought that counts, you know?
What's the best birthday present you've ever gotten?
I can't talk about that here.
Oh, okay.
I can't talk about that on the podcast.
What's the best PG birthday present you've
Gotcha.
ever
Okay.
gotten? There you go.
What's the best PG birthday gift?
Like when you were a kid, was there one present that really just got you good?
Yeah, I got a bike.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so like typical Americana.
Yeah, I really, really wanted a bike, and I didn't know how to ride a bike.
I couldn't ride a bike till I was 12 years old.
Right. It's not easy. And so
I was so embarrassed. It was
Yeah.
a huge secret.
Really?
I didn't tell people.
Really?
Because I was so embarrassed I couldn't ride a bike. And then finally when I was 12, I was like, I have to be able to do this. So I took out my brother's bike and I just started pedaling and I could do it. But for the longest time, that was my greatest shame was that I couldn't ride a bike.
Yeah. You know, I kind of have like pretty substantial relationships with the ability to bicycle around places. So like as a kid, we grew up in Georgia, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in Georgia, I'm on a cul-de-sac, right? And every time we go home, there was this older kid who had all of these BMX ramps. And so he'd be doing all this
okay.
BMX stuff. And I wanted to be exactly like him. You know, I want to be that cool. So I'm like, I need a bike. Finally, I get one. I can't ride it for anything. I keep falling. I keep hurting myself.
Did you do training wheels?
I refuse to do training wheels. Because my parents told me I don't need them. And so I go in, what they do is they tied a pillow to my butt. They tied a pillow around like a
if you
belt.
fell off?
So if I fell off, I wouldn't hurt myself. And they're like, you got to keep trying to learn how to ride a bike.
90s.
Yeah, right. Nowadays, the helicopter parent would be like, okay, you can have a drone following you the entire way with heat seeking.
My mum used to make us wear when we were skateboarding or scooters, we had to wear helmet, wrist guards, knee pads, elbow. Like we had to do the whole thing.
Looking like Mad Max on
Yeah.
a bicycle. Just
No,
like-
literally. I was like, witness me. Yeah, the whole time.
He's just trying to do witness. That's such a great Halloween costume,
Oh, that is a good one, actually.
right? You have to have the spray though,
Yes.
and with the chrome face,
Yeah.
right? And you're just tweaked out the whole time, and then you can really do crack in real life so that no one knows.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween! Best birthday gift ever was crack rocks. Just kidding.
I think my favorite birthday gift was I got a dollhouse once, and I remember it so clearly getting it because I love that dollhouse, and I played and I played and I played with it.
What did it look like? How many rooms?
It was a Playmobil dollhouse.
What's that?
Do you remember Playmobil? Do you remember Playmobil?
It was a van that opened up, right? It opened up like this.
No, Playmobil are little plastic. They're kind of like Lego's big sisters. Like
Oh.
they're like bigger Legos.
Oh,
And
don't know
I had a
this.
Playmobil dollhouse, and it was so
Wow.
much fun. I played with that for ages. And
Yeah.
then I got it's probably my favorite, I think.
Was that your favorite toy ever?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of them that really stands out in my mind. Like I'll always remember that.
Yeah.
And when I played with a lot. I used to also be really into American Girl dolls.
Mm.
And I had a lot of that stuff too.
Nice.
So I really liked dolls as a kid.
Did you ever have Cabbage Patch Kids?
No, they scared me. I didn't like their big round heads.
Really?
They're like demented babies.
I kind of had a demented baby.
You had a Cabbage Patch Kid?
I didn't have a Cabbage Patch, but I had this thing called a My Buddy. You ever heard of this?
No.
This is probably going to be embarrassing to put on the end. You've heard of this, Marvin? My Buddy? Thank God.
What are
Thank
they?
God someone else knew.
I've heard of Baby Wee Wee. Have you heard of that?
I had a baby wee wee at the time. But I
Well,
don't know
Baby Wee Wee had a baby wee wee.
Weird.
So it would pee. It was a little bit, had a teeny weeny winkle.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know, but I remember these commercials that they used to play on Cartoon Network, and it would go, baby wee wee, and then the doll would be shown weeing. You can find the cartoon online. If we can put it into the video, I'll be so happy. But if you Google baby wee wee commercial on YouTube, you can pull it up and find it, and it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's so strange.
It's so strange.
Can you imagine being an archaeologist 200 years from now, digging up like, those time capsules we put in our
There's
backyards?
a baby with a tiny plastic
Yeah.
penis. Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird.
That's so strange. Well, no,
Huh?
There were no girl babies?
That baby
Yeah.
wee wee was just a boy.
Sexist.
Yeah.
That's why they got canceled. They're probably not even manufacturing anymore.
I mean, I had a baby born as well. Those ones would pee too, but they didn't have any detailed bits. It was just like a hole.
Does the female version like not aim?
I don't know.
Right? It's just a mess. It's just a mess. I don't know. Maybe. I didn't have that though. But
Maybe that's why they didn't make a female baby wee wee, because
Yeah,
they were like,
but-
this will be too much for the kids to handle.
yeah, like we're spending way too much R&D money on how this
Like,
canal is going to release
Yeah, right. Exactly.
correctly. We can't.
The male design is a little easier to construct in
Right.
that sense
He,
for a
takes
doll.
He takes it way too seriously. He's like, here's the plastic mod 1, okay?
Yeah.
You modify
You
it.
open up the doll, there's got like a working heart and everything. It's just weird. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. That'd be so crazy.
So what was My Buddy?
Yeah, so my buddy. Okay, so my buddy was this little kid with a bowl cut and overalls, right? It was almost like Chucky.
Wait, I think I've heard of this. Hold
Yeah.
on, let me look it up.
Black hair, but it was almost like Chucky, right? And I think actually it's where Chucky got its inspiration from. And I fucking love this thing. It was like my best friend. It was the size of me, right? And I had a bowl cut too, because if you're from the South, that's
You had a
the
bowl
kind
cut
of shit
growing
you
up?
get. Giant bowl
Okay,
cut.
first of all, when I Google My Buddy, the
Yeah.
first thing that comes up is Chucky. So it's definitely what Chucky was based off of.
What? That makes so much sense. That makes so much
hilarious.
sense. Okay, so I had this doll, right? Meriel, you're going to love this.
Alexander, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It's got a little nose like a Who from the Grinch.
What?
Look.
Hold on. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's scary.
Okay, so crazy story, right? So I would carry this thing with me everywhere, and I would throw it down the stairs.
This explains so much.
I would throw it down the stairs, and my mom would hear this and run down and see this kid with a bowl cut with like mangled
And you think
arms
it
and
was
legs.
you?
And she'd be like, think it is me. Run it up. And you know what I would be doing? I'd be at the top of the stairs laughing.
I
Awful.
swear, some of these kids.
Awful.
That's terrifying. I also had I was really into Beanie Babies.
Mm.
Had a lot of Beanie Babies.
Wait,
And I
which
had
one
a
was your
whole
favorite?
village, like a Beanie Baby cult.
You did?
Like I
Who
had
was the leader?
a toy that wasn't a Beanie Baby.
Of course.
It was a stuffed toy I had called Fluffy, really original name. And he was like the mayor
Right.
of all the Beanie
Because he knew he didn't
Babies.
belong, so he
And
had
I
to
had
start
a-
his own cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a baby.
That's how it
I
works,
had a
people.
Beanie Baby jail.
Oh, you did?
I did. I had a Beanie Baby spa, a Beanie Baby hospital.
Wow. So you had like a justice system, you had amenities.
And then
healthcare.
we I mean this is all just stuff in my room. We all
Oh, man.
just like I was just making stuff up. We also, my brother's room was above me, on the floor above me,
Nice.
and his Beanie Babies had their own town as well.
He had Beanie Babies too?
Yeah, but my brothers did. So we would take them on like trips up the stairs.
You would? Oh, so they were nice.
To visit the other town. Yeah. But,
Right. So there was no border dispute.
well, they did have soccer matches between the Beanie Babies.
Very nice.
So, like, like international soccer matches.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Corin, my younger brother's Beanie Babies would fight my Beanie Babies.
Nice.
Not fight.
They would fight?
Play soccer.
Oh, they would play soccer. Okay.
Yeah.
So they were
And then
nice.
my older brother sometimes would join in.
Well,
But he wasn't quite as into it as we were.
right. Because
He was 3 years older than me, so it wasn't as fun to play
so,
with Beanie Babies.
so he normalized.
You know what I was...
Like if you're 3 years older and you're still playing with Beanie Babies, there's probably something up.
No.
You still play with them?
No, we were like 5 or 6.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So
But
if I was like 5 or 6, he was 9. That's
Right.
okay to play with Beanie Babies at 9.
Is it?
Yes.
When's an acceptable age to stop playing with
toys?
Beanie Babies?
Like
Probably like 13.
As long as you
you're probably
want.
right. You're probably right.
I'm on the full belief that if you enjoy a toy, play with it. Grown-ups play with toys too. I didn't realize that.
Clip that.
Question.
Cracked
Did you just answer your favorite birthday gift?
Someone's got to clip that. Oh my God.
I was going to say, innocently,
Yeah. You better clean this up.
that I was going to sound horrible now, but I was going to say grown-ups have toys too.
They
but
do.
I actually meant like actual toys.
Right. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, like real, like real toys. No, I mean, no matter what we say now, it sounds wrong. I'm with you, Meriel.
They have like Xbox games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Xbox
and they
is probably
have
my
like,
favorite
you know,
toy.
how many people collect figurines?
Oof.
That's a toy, essentially.
You know, I never got into that.
And Lego. I know lots of grown-ups have Lego. So people love toys throughout whole life.
Yeah, my older
And there's
brother is
even those-
obsessed with Legos.
Yeah. Have you seen those dolls that look like real babies?
No?
They're called Reborns, I think.
Reborn?
And they're really expensive. And they're these dolls that are made and they're custom made for each person, like $500. And they look like a real baby and they're weighted and they creep me the fuck out. But people have them and they love them and they dress them up. Do we need to hold for sound? Is that too loud? I can hear it, but it's like New York. So what are you
Let's
gonna
not
do?
hold. It's just New York.
Yeah. So
But wow, Reborn.
they look real. They look so real.
That
And
would creep me out.
yeah,
Like
me
if I was a
too. I
parent-
don't want to judge, but people really love these dolls and they dress them up and give them
Yeah.
clothes and the whole thing.
No, I never did that, but I was in a Beanie Baby.
Yeah.
Like everyone collected them, right?
Super into Beanie Babies. I had the Princess Diana Beanie Baby. It was very rare.
Wait. What animal was that? It
It was a purple teddy bear.
was a purple. teddy
Yeah,
bear.
and it was when she passed away and it had a rose on it.
The new movie's coming out too. The new Princess Di.
Spencer.
It looks amazing.
It does look really good. I'm
Kristen
really excited
Stewart,
to see
right? Isn't it?
Yep.
She looks like she's going to knock that out of the park. I kind of feel bad for the Princess Diana actress in The Crown.
Oh, I thought she was great.
Because she
Emma
was so
Corrin.
good.
She was so good.
And it's kind of like her light is kind of being taken by Kristen Stewart for this character a little
I think
bit.
there's space for both of them.
You think?
Yeah. If you could be in any movie, what would it be?
I
Even if
could-
it's not made yet.
If I could be in any movie, I would be
Or any character.
Aragorn.
I see that.
Aragorn in Lord of the Rings.
My dream is to play Anne Boleyn in a TV show or a movie of some kind.
And Berlin.
Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII's second wife,
Oh my gosh, you crush.
who took the church, who helped take the church and the Church of England.
You would crush that role.
Help England leave the Catholic Church.
Wow.
I would love to play that role. I think
Really?
she's so interesting. Yeah.
See, I don't know anything about her.
I'll send you some books.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Super
I'll read that.
interesting.
I mean, those are both very good roles. I think another one I would love to be
We could do a mashup. We could have Anne Boleyn meeting
Aragorn.
Aragon. Yeah.
How would that go down?
Hi. I'm Anne Boleyn.
Why you dressed so weird? I don't even know. Another role I would love to do is I would love to play Julius Caesar. But the real Julius Caesar, not the one
Have
that.
they done a movie about Julius Caesar?
So they've done a TV show called Rome,
Oh, I watched that. That was good.
but they started with Julius Caesar before his early days, and Julius Caesar was broke, flat broke, and he was a soldier in the army, and his family clan, they weren't respected. The Julii, no one cared about him, and he had all of these debts. He had an enormous amount of debt, and so he kept taking bigger risks and bigger risks. And it wasn't until he became friends with what is known as the triumvirate, the three most powerful people in Rome, was he given basically blank checks to become the person that we know of him as today. But this guy
And then he was
like,
stabbed. By
he got
Brutus.
stabbed by his best friend, Brutus. His
Et
like
tu,
brother.
Brutus.
Yeah, et tu, Brutus.
Et tu.
But he's such an interesting character, because he's he's a propagandist, right? He's actually a talented fighter. He's one of the most significant, like, logistical experts.
I feel like they could do a really
warfare.
cool movie about that. And it hasn't been done yet.
They could do a really cool movie about Rome or TV show about Rome, and they're missing so much.
The new Game of Thrones trailer's been out. Have you seen that? The House of Dragon?
I don't know.
I'm excited.
I don't know.
I'm going to give it a try. Why not?
I'm gonna
I like
definitely
the
give it a
cast.
try.
I really like a lot of the actors in it.
Yeah, but it's starting to become Hollywoodized, right?
We always do, though. We knew that was going to happen.
I know.
Yeah.
That's my concern. Part of Game of Thrones for me that I loved because it's casted by Nina Gold, who
He
is
was amazing.
the greatest casting director alive.
Absolutely.
or ever probably. You found these actors that no one knew about.
They were very well known in the acting world. A lot of the actors, not the young ones, but the older ones have been. A lot of them were in Rome.
Yeah,
a lot of them
because she casted that
A lot
too.
of them have been in the Tudors. A lot of them have been in like very famous, more so in England than America. But I recognize a lot of them from period dramas and costume dramas in the UK.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then of course you have Sean Bean, who's like iconic.
Yeah, but spoiler, he died.
Yeah.
He died.
Which was what was so cool about it.
Yeah.
You never kill a main character, and they did.
You know, he could have been James Bond.
No.
Yeah.
No, you could have Sean Bean as James Bond.
Really?
I don't think so.
I know everything about James Bond. Go ahead, ask me anything. Ask me anything.
What, like, what do I ask about James
Ask
Bond?
me anything. What do you want to know?
Have you seen the most recent one?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think we should do spoilers for that. It's quite fresh.
I think the most recent one was okay.
I loved it. I thought it was pretty
Yeah.
fun. I got very emotional at the end. I did cry a bit.
You did?
You didn't?
No,
Oh.
I didn't. Yeah.
I cry a lot. in
There's no room for emotion in James Bond.
Oh,
This is the
please.
problem. It's not about that.
It adds to it. It's another layer.
It's not about that. James Bond is the wild ride that no man will ever be able to go down. That's James
I'm
Bond.
still stuck on trying to think of a question I can ask you about James
All right, I'll give
Bond.
you a fun trivia. So you know
Please
who
do.
played Saruman in Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
So he was one of the most famous villains in James Bond.
Which one was he?
The man with the golden gun.
Oh, I've seen that one actually.
Scaramanga.
I forgot that.
And Scaramanga
I always-
dies on the 7th shot.
I always like Oddjob.
Ooh, odd job.
With his hat.
I've met him. Yeah, I got his autograph.
You did?
Nice guy.
No.
Nice guy.
The actor?
Yeah, I was so young. I was in this like weird convention. It was almost like Comic-Con maybe, but I was super young, so I didn't really
What a
understand it.
weird life, Alexander.
And I met Patrick Block, the guy who did Felix the Cat. I don't know if you remember that. And I think he also did Donald Duck. I had Oddjob's signature. I also had Baron Samedi,
Who?
the Baron Samedi, the guy from Live and Let Die, another James Bond movie, the villain. And then lastly, oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Willy Wonka.
Oh, Gene Wilder.
I had Gene Wilder's
No,
autograph.
you had Gene
And I met
Wilder's
Gene
autograph?
Wilder. My mom's like, that's Gene Wilder.
That
I'm like,
is
cool.
exciting.
You know, I didn't
Yeah.
know who he was.
Wow.
I
that's
went up and
really
I talked
cool.
to him. Yeah, really nice, really nice. That was a really interesting experience.
Come with me.
But
Yeah.
here's the weird thing, though. The real reason why my mom went was
Did she have a crush on Gene Wilder?
no. There was this like 1970s like acid show, like acid trip show. It's really, really weird. It was so trippy. Like it's basically it was like imagine Teletubbies but on acid.
What was it called?
Oh man, I can't remember. I can explain it. So basically, it's about a squid, right? And the squid. This is gonna sound so crazy.
No, keep going. I'm listening.
It's a squid, and I think he does some kind of hallucinogenic drug, and he goes down into the bottom of the ocean, and he makes friends. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like it's almost like if you take
Wait, is this a
SpongeBob-
cartoon?
No,
it
it's
like-
like Teletubbies, where they're dressed up in costumes.
Okay, and it was for children? I'm so confused.
I'm confused.
So
I'm a grown adult,
Your
and
mom
I
used
still
to
don't
watch the
understand it.
show about people tripping acid.
Yeah, and so I think deep
And-
down she thought it was funny to go to this Comic-Con
Oh,
thing
this
to meet them.
Comic-Con had people from that
Yeah,
show.
it was like a tribute to that
Oh,
show, and then it also happened to have all these other people here.
Interesting.
So we went there, but I don't know.
I've never
It's
been
kind
to
of
a.
irrelevant.
I've never been to a convention like that.
Ever?
No, never been to like a Comic-Con or anything like that.
Not even a Harry Potter one?
No,
Whoa! You waited outside the library though for Harry Potter.
no, they got dropped off at our front door in the
No
morning.
way! You didn't do the whole waiting outside?
No,
I
they got
did that.
dropped. So we used to order them from our local bookstore, and the people around the local bookstore would do a thing, especially when Harry Potter came out, and they would drive around in the early morning and drop off your book for you first thing.
Whoa!
So
Like
you-
newspapers.
Yeah, so only for Harry Potter. They didn't do this on the reg. This is just like when
That's
Harry Potter
so
came out.
wild to think about that it was
So
that big.
They would come around and drop it off.
Yeah.
We used to also have the milkman growing up,
Really?
which I think Americans find funny. Like
Yeah.
a milkman would drop milk off at our front door.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah, we do.
We get sued. It's too easy to sue people in America.
Well, they would bring you milk in a glass bottle, and then when you're done, you put the clean ones out on the step, and they collect them again.
How we doing on time, by the way? Or 54 minutes. Okay.
We've waffled a lot.
Let
Let me see if there's any more things in the news that we need to cover real quick before we bounce.
Aaron Rodgers.
You've lost me already. Who?
Aaron. He's a quarterback. He's a quarterback. And
Yay, sports. Carry on.
he's dating.
Oh, he's dating Shailene Woodley, right?
There we go.
And he lied about the vaccine. I know the story.
So he's getting a lot of heat about the vaccine
Yes.
and him not taking it.
Well, apparently he lied about taking it, which is, I think, where the big scandal comes.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he said he had it, and then it turns out he didn't. And
Really?
that's where the problem was.
It's so hard to know the truth. But here's what I also heard.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that he's allergic to a really core ingredient to the
I haven't
vaccine.
heard that. I haven't heard him say anything about that either. And I was
And-
reading about this story.
It's on the CDC website, and it says in bold, if you are allergic to any part of the vaccine, do not take it.
Yeah,
under any
you can get
circumstances.
medical exemptions for the vaccine.
So the question is it right that he's getting all this heat, if that's true?
I don't think he would be getting that heat if that's true.
Mm-hmm.
If that was true, he would just have to say, I can't take the vaccine. I am allergic. And they would be like, okay. But the problem is, he said he took the vaccine. Turns out he hadn't taken the vaccine.
Can we look that up? Can we look to see if he did lie about that?
All right. And while we're doing that, Kyle Rittenhouse
Oh,
took the witness stand.
today?
Which is wild. No. So today, I think they're coming, the jury's making a decision. But Kyle Rittenhouse took to the witness stand, which means he came up and spoke on his own behalf in the court. Right? Which is risky to do, because when you do that, that means the prosecutor then has a chance to cross-examine you. Did you see the video of him doing it? He was up
No.
on that thing.
I saw a video of him crying.
Yeah, that was him. He was crying and he was trying to squeeze out the tears and crying. And that was him. That was him on the stand.
Was he trying to squeeze out the tears? I don't know anything about this case. Here's
It's kind of, it's messed up and it's kind of sad too. Basically, at 17 years old, he took his guns, which he shouldn't have had in the first place.
he had more than one.
Yeah, and he went to defend people during one of the Black Lives Matter protests.
Yes, I remember that.
And he ended up shooting 3 people.
Yes, killing 2.
Killing 3, I believe. Or killing 2 and injuring 1.
Okay. Here's one thing I did see
Yeah.
is the other guy's testimony on the stand
Uh-huh.
and how he said that Kyle Rittenhouse didn't raise his gun until. Okay, so apparently this guy came forward. First of all, let me just say, bringing a gun to a riot
Stupid.
to protect or whatever, like may sound like a good, I think is just asking for trouble, right? Like I feel like a real person trying to defend would have a concealed weapon and stand and try to de-escalate before pointing anything at anybody.
I don't like
Right.
guns, full stop. So
Well, the world needs them in some occasions. Unfortunately, we do. We may disagree on that, but if someone's breaking into your house to kill you, it's nice to have a gun.
how many times has someone broken in your house and tried to kill you?
Me personally, or people in general?
You personally.
Me personally, never, because I'm in New York City.
Right.
Right. But it's different elsewhere. If you're in the middle of the country and you have nothing defending you, this happens all the time.
Well, if
people breaking
we can
in,
get into a whole thing about.
Anyway,
The point is with Kyle Rittenhouse. Yes, maybe he may have shot someone at that time in self-defense, but why the hell was a 17-year-old with a gun in the first place? Like, why did he have a gun in the first place? It's ridiculous. And
It's a
why
valid
was
question.
he carrying a weapon, a loaded weapon with him to a protest? Like, what was his intent?
Another valid question. Yeah.
So we're going to get the verdict today and find out what happened.
I mean, here's where I agree. If his family had a store or something, right? And these riots were going around and breaking up a lot
That's a
of stuff.
very different situation.
Right. I don't know if it is that situation.
That wasn't that
right?
situation.
Okay. But from what I heard from this other guy providing testimony is that he had his hands up and Kyle Rittenhouse did not point the gun at him. And it wasn't until he reached for his own gun and pointed it at Kyle Rittenhouse was a shot fired.
Right.
So my question is that fair?
Well, that's what they're trying to decide now with the jury.
That's
They're trying to work out how much of it
Yeah.
was intent.
Tough question.
Because, there's self-defense, but then is it self-defense if you went in somewhere with an intent of causing trouble? You know what I mean?
How do you decide that?
It's
right?
like self-defense. It's like, say for instance, you went in an area that's known for violent crime and start yelling insults at the people there, and then they turn around and point a gun at you, and you shoot them first to save yourself.
But that's not what happened.
It is kind of, because he took
This one particular situation, that's not what
he
happened.
took weapons with him and went to a situation to oppose it. He went to like fight back against the protesters.
Well, was he fighting back or was he trying to keep protesters from breaking up people's stores?
I mean, that's another thing we have to work out too. That's another thing we have to work out in the court case. So,
It's just, I don't know how to make these decisions, because.
Then also, yes, maybe self-defense, but he shot someone, then moved, and then an hour later was chased, and then he was not chased. He got away.
Chased.
Well, then he got away, and then an hour later shot someone else, and then didn't go to the police, turn himself in or anything.
He did do that, actually.
Not till way afterwards.
He did it twice.
What?
He did it twice. He walked up to police in a vehicle, and he tried to turn himself in, and they just drove right past.
But it wasn't until like way after. He didn't go straight away.
No, at that moment, he went up to cops and to tell them that he killed somebody, and the cops didn't care and they drove off. That's in the court case.
That's weird.
Yeah. But also put yourself in the shoes of a cop. You're going to get out with a dude with a rifle on his arm?
Someone comes up to you as a cop and says,
Like,
I've killed someone.
Holding a rifle?
You should maybe talk to them rather than just drive off.
The cops can only do so much, Like, fuck, gosh, it's going to be so scary in these situations. I feel like there's no right and there's no wrong. Like, I don't know the answer to these, It's like, if you minimize this story, like if you put the framework of perception on the story, it sounds like he's defending himself.
Right.
But then if you
look
move
at the bigger
perception,
picture, exactly.
it sounds like he went there for some weird intent. But then if you go again further out, then it looks like he's defending himself. But then if you go even further out than that, then it looks like he went out there to do something.
Yes,
I don't know. It's
that's
gobstopper
why-
bullshit.
That's why we have a jury to make this decision. That's why we have to have a court case to work out what's going on. I think the bigger picture of all of this is why was a 17-year-old around with access to those kind of weapons in the first place?
Right. Yeah.
17 years old. That's a kid. I mean, think about the stupid
It's illegal,
shit.
right? How old do you have to be to own a gun?
Illegal. Absolutely. 18 at least.
Is that true? Can we look that up? Depends
Really?
on what
He
state
went
were they in?
across the border. There's nothing. He left the state and went across the border to purposely get a gun, which is intent, which can negate the self-defense.
Wait, so he went to, well, hold on. How is that intent to kill somebody?
It's intent to use the weapon.
No, it's intent to own a weapon. It's not intent to use it.
I think if you pick up a gun and then drive somewhere with it specifically, like he went to get a gun.
To go to the riot?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. I understand how that's definitely like, what are you doing here, pal?
Yeah.
But I don't think that's intent to use.
We need a lawyer on
it.
here because I don't know the legal standing enough.
It's so complicated.
It is complicated.
I don't know anything.
Like
about
what he
this.
did. I mean, here's the thing. What he did was definitely wrong, like no doubt. But when it comes to the legal standing,
But was he being attacked?
that's what I mean. But what I'm saying, the fact that he went somewhere with a gun in the first place is wrong in itself.
Yeah, but what about all the people who went to these riots with crowbars, breaking shit?
They're wrong too.
lighting
Two
things on
wrongs
fire?
don't make a right. They're
No, I
wrong
agree.
as well.
I agree. But if no one is doing anything to stop that, how's that fair too? You know what I'm saying? And you're
It
right.
shouldn't be up to a 17-year-old to make that choice to go stop it.
I agree. That with that
wasn't his choice
wholeheartedly.
to make.
I agree.
He shouldn't have done that.
You shouldn't. I agree with that. We can't agree on that.
Anyway, we'll find out what happens today with this case. It's a complicated one for sure.
It's an important kind of like ethical question.
It is. It really is because it's, it brings up a big argument about what is self-defense, what is intent, and why do these people have access to guns? But that's a whole nother argument.
And it also brings up the case. It's like, okay, if you're a person of color who in a nation of whose history has been kind of not really good, right, to deal with, and change isn't necessarily happening quickly enough, at what point do you escalate the drive to see that done? And at what point does it become senseless violence? And at what point does it become necessary for change?
I mean, that's a whole nother
You know,
door we
that's
could
like-
open. That's a whole nother podcast.
I
but
struggle
yes.
with that. It's like, what's the right side for that? As a
Right.
as a a white person, I guess.
Right.
Whatever. I guess quarter Brazilian doesn't necessarily make me.
You love
fully
that
right.
Brazilian quarter view.
Well, I do.
It's
It's
so
a big part of my
spicy.
history. But
Yeah.
like I obviously look like just a Caucasian guy.
Yeah.
So
I did my mom did her DNA history.
Oh, you cheated?
Yeah, and I really wanted there to be something like exciting, like someone had some secret affair or something. It was just so boring.
Really?
It was just like
Scottish Isles?
literally. It was just like Scotland moved to America, built a church, and then just moved further south throughout America. Because even though I sound English, my mom's from Texas, and then just lived in poverty in the South. That was kind of it. Very unexciting.
Wow. What a
Yeah. My dad's would be more exciting. My dad's DNA is probably, a bit more.
really. But
bit
wouldn't
more
that be your
zhuzh.
DNA too?
Yeah, so maybe I have something fun. But I really thought my mum's DNA, we'd like find some like, oh, look, there's someone there that came from like, I don't know, Estonia or something cool, But no, just Scottish.
Mine was pretty accurate.
Tiny bit of French and some
Really?
Irish, but mostly just Scottish.
Wow. Yeah. My brother just did that too. We got 1% Congolese, but I think that's just because of
That's
Portuguese.
cool.
We're 24% Portuguese,
Okay.
and the rest is like English or Ireland,
Yeah.
Scottish Isles, or whatever that phrase is, North Atlantic or something like
Yeah.
that. So, no surprises there, unfortunately.
Marvin,
Would've
what's
been
your
cool.
ancestry?
I'm from the Philippines.
Oh, from the Philippines. Very cool.
So there must be some Spaniard priest in me somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. That's funny. Where in the Philippines? Do you know?
From the north.
From the north. Oh, cool. Very cool. You're born there.
Yep.
Do you
I don't do jury duty either.
Wow. Do you speak Tagalog?
Yeah.
Nice. I know only one word in that.
Oh no.
Ay caballo.
What?
It means horse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Ay caballo.
Like, what? What'd you say?
So I know that phrase because we have a good family friend that's from the Philippines, and anytime something bad happens, she goes "ay caballo," like she drops something,
Really?
or like
Akabayo.
it's like saying "oh my goodness."
Are we
Yeah,
going to get
like, "Oh, my."
demonetized because we're saying curse words?
It's not a curse word. It means horse. It's like saying "oh my" or like "oh," like "whoops a daisy."
Oh, okay.
But now I say it. My whole family says it when something happens. We go "ay caballo" because she used to say it all the time. Yeah,
Akabayo.
"ay caballo." And then what's another word I know in Tagalog? I think I know another one.
Wait, what's the name of the language? Tagalog?
Tagalog.
Tagalog?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Tagalog.
What's
That's a beautiful word.
Thank you again. Salamat. That's it. Salamat. Yeah. Salamat. Yeah.
Salamat.
Salamat.
That's dope. Well, this has been an amazing episode. I think we got to wrap up, right? Because we're hitting our time. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and, subscribe and do all that comment stuff. I'm supposed to be saying that, but
You're supposed to say, hit the subscribe button.
smash that subscribe button.
Yeah. Give it a thumbs up.
Smash that
And
subscribe.
leave a comment.
Only if you feel compelled to, honestly.
Yeah.
But if you made it this far, you're a true champion. Really?
Make them do it.
Do it.
Marvin says, make them do it.
Do it. Like Shia LaBeouf. Do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
Don't
I've
let
had
your
way too
dreams
much
be
coffee.
dreams.
Oh my God.
Was
my
that your back?
Did you hear that?
All right, we got to go.
right,
Alexander's falling apart.
See you next week.
I can't believe that was your back. That was crunchy. Oof.
I thought that was a chair.
No, that was my back. Look, I'll do it again.
Ah!